Well, this is exciting. Who'd have thought a couple of months ago that right now I'd be stood at Red Bull Hardline. The event is back. Red Bull have made it happen here in 2021. So the last Hardline was in 2019. Last year couldn't happen, and it's back. Super last minute with an upgraded, updated course where the world's best downhill riders come together to ride, as the name suggests, the hardest downhill course in the world. This has been built by the Athertons and their trail building crew and is stamped, branded and recognised as the gnarliest course in the world. So right now today, I'm going to do a track walk for you guys. I've been invited along by Red Bull to make videos behind the scenes with all the riders, and I've brought my bike with me too. My twin brother Jono is racing. I'm very excited and nervous for him. I just can't wait to see all this happen again. 2 years ago it was mad. Like, my brother had the biggest crash of his career, in fact 2 crashes. I rode the big step up on my jump bike, and this year that jump's even bigger. So we're going to go and check out the course from top to bottom with all the riders, meet the course, and finish up down here in the finish area, where on Sunday in the Red Bull TV live stream, when riders get down to that finish area, it must be the most buzzing, humbling feeling ever, because to conquer this course makes you in the absolute elite niche realm of what it is to be a downhill racer. So I can't wait for this week. Let's check out the course. We're at the start line. It's definitely a lot hotter than when we were here 2 years ago, and you'll recall doing the last track walk with Kerr, who then went on to win the event in 2019. So if we're right to pally along again,
we'll pally along, and I won't make fun of you this time. I won't be horrible.
Yeah, Bernard was bullying us for vlogging, and now he's come around to it eventually.
Committed to it now.
Look what he's in his hand. He's going for the race win and the views win.
We'll try our best. I think you got me there.
There's absolutely no wind today, so it's track walk followed by test riding the whole course, and I think everyone's going to be keen to hit all the new features today, because with no wind means you get like consistent runs at stuff that actually no one's ever ridden until Bernard did a full. Did you do a full run last week?
I did a full run last week, yeah, but it's pretty sketchy, like you say. Today will be so nice with sun and no wind to work out where we're going off the new blind drops, the huge features that they've changed.
So hitting stuff for the first time's uncomfortable, and Bernard manned up for the job, because usually it would be G Atherton, right, and he's currently smashed to bits.
Mad respects to G for the previous years doing it. Like, actually after last week I've got so much respect for him.
Let's drop in on foot.
That's going, mate.
I thought it was supposed to be drying. Dry grass as well. It always blows my mind straight out the gate that you've got 5 metres before you're into hardline. It's not like you get to warm up, put some pedal strokes in. It's immediately steep, and this, I do remember this is like a questionable section. Come and have a look. It's also extremely grassy and mossy. This place just gets no bike time. No one comes and rides this. This is the only time, right? And the grass has grown. Wet grass is hellish. You just saw that dry grass is hellish. So you're going to slip on the grass, land on the rock. It's the ultimate terrible combo. And look, Bernard's showing all the new riders. Bernard, straight down the middle.
Yeah, I reckon straight down the middle. We used to gap off the right, but if it stays dry like this,
come check it out.
Through the gully here, and you can kind of gap through the middle past the mini wall ride.
So you have to be in the air there?
Yeah, ideally, or you're going too slow.
You've got to go deep, because it looks to me like you'd clip your pedal on the wall easily.
You land heavy.
You'd be toast, wouldn't you? Brown bread's dead.
Before the first
10
turn.
10 metres in, yeah, before the first turn. You're going to qualify this year, Brayton?
I'm going to win this year.
He's going to win. Got a cracking pair of boots. I'm envious of those.
Friend, they get a lot of love already.
Freebies, it's all anyone cares about.
Not free, not for me.
Bigger from here. It's definitely not rollable. That's a compulsory jump, isn't it? Drop. And the wind. This has got to be one of the windiest parts of the course. And then it goes without saying, but the surface, the material through the whole track this year is absolute dust, with all this shale rock in between, with nothing to hold it together. So I think, weirdly, in the wet, this stuff might bind better than it is now.
In the wet, you get tacky on the first turn, if you can hear me, like right up real nice.
Yeah, but this year it's just going to be, it's going to start loose, stay loose, and just get blown out. If it doesn't rain, and then that brings in new challenges. So, I mean, yeah, Hardline proves itself every year as being difficult.
Nice and dusty. This is the year.
First drop, straight out the first turn. Already you're into a 25-foot drop onto bedrock.
Oh.
So you've got a taste of everything gnarly immediately. But we'll cut now as we go into the woods, because there's a lot of off-camber. Obviously that's all mown grass, which, yeah, it's cut, but
it's so slippery, dude.
Can you get to here?
Yeah, it's real easy,
big.
Especially if it's this dry, you'll get to here. It's so easy.
That's
huge.
huge.
You don't want to cut. It is massive, isn't it?
You'll kind of, honestly, by the time you hit the turn good, like second, third run, you'd almost squash to here.
Yeah.
Downhill bikes are so good these days, you can just float it anywhere.
Wish I knew. It's been 5 years since I had a downhill bike. You be careful. You go too.
You be careful.
I'm going to just run. Okay, so the berm that's at the bottom isn't necessary. You can stay high. You've got tinted goggles on for the insane tropical sun up here, and then you enter the woods and you're blind for 3 seconds. Or your eyeballs, your pupils are desperately trying to slam shut. Like there's so little light, and I'm so close. I know your pupils are trying to open.
They're trying to open. They're trying to get massive.
You've got mental dilation going on, where you're just trying to let as much of light in as possible.
You wish your eyes were as good as a GoPro.
Look, all the riders are down here. They've actually finally come to a stop based on something. Yeah, Bernard's slipping around. So
it's so slippery.
This is the mountain biking most people know, which is like in the woods, rooty, rocky, kind of technical and slow.
Pine needles.
But it's got such a mixture, this place, and you've got to remember it's not just, you don't just have to get down safely, you have to win the race. And hitting stuff fast is very different to just surviving.
That used to be a flat drop rock thing to flat. Yeah. Yo. But now they put a bit of wood on.
Here we go.
The pine fall over.
I love this. Look, the landing's matted with pine needles. We've got it's like a carpet this year. Yeah. Look at matey down there. There's
amazing
a human.
wood.
That is a big drop that goes immediately into a 90-degree right corner, which has got to catch you, decelerate you. You've got to do all your braking in the turn even. And it goes wood, which is slippery, rock, which is more slippery, dirt, which has potential to be the slipperiest. Tommy G, catch this and do a selfie. Everyone meet.
Hello guys, this is Matt Jones. We are out here at Hardline, and I'm about to show you the track. Having a bunch of different crashes here.
There we go. Slopestyle genius who's at a downhill event. Doomed. Right, Ben. It's not the drop ever. It's not the time in the air. It's the time on the ground that gets you.
It's so steep.
Being in the air has never hurt anyone.
It's nuts, man.
Terrifying. And I always look behind turns because not everyone gets round turns. What does this one present?
Not good stuff, mate.
Huge vehicle-sized rocks, rib cage smashing objects, and we're not even 30 seconds into the course.
God.
Brilliant. When you can't walk down it, it shows what it's going to be like to ride down it, right?
Hello mate, alright, how are ya?
So no one really does full course runs. It all gets broken down into sections, and this is where I rode last year, the big step-up kicker. But before that, to get all the speed, is a cannon jump, which we'll look at now. And that berm before, you start up there, one pedal. It's a brakeless bomb, pumping all of this awful stuff, which seems fairly inconsistent. Like, I don't understand how pumping through shale is the same every time to build speed for what is the cannon. And then you go into the step up, which is the biggest it's ever been. It's all changed. Here we go. Can you believe that's where the landing lives? I can't think of a place where you'd hang on tighter to your handlebars than coming into this jump every year. It's huge. It's very, very rare that jumps have so much out distance and no down, you know, it must be so fast. Death grip, I bet people aren't even covering their brake levers, just elbows down, tucking. To land, and then on a landing which is only going to build more speed. And this was so much more hard packed last time, because I was starting sort of up there on my dirt jump bike, bunny hopping into this landing and pedalling. You wouldn't be able to do that this time because the ground's so loose. They just haven't had rain, and it's only going to break up more, which worries me, especially for Jono. We saw how it went him last year, judging speed and cornering. And now we need to go around this corner and check it out, because I know for a fact the jump's been made a lot bigger. Here's Rob Warner. That man walks nowhere these days. You won't catch him on foot.
Set the cannon. How big's that? 60 foot in it?
Must be. Right, line it up, make it dust.
Whatever I do, it's just going to look really.
Can you see the new ramp?
Oh my God.
It's so much bigger. That is massive now. Last time it was one of the biggest jumps I've ever 360'd. The kicker's come back, and my first impression is this left flat corner where you're honestly battling for grip, even when it was tacky, you were cornering into a ramp. Now the ramp's come back, I feel like you're going to be taking off mid-left turn, which is no good for anyone. That's why Jono crashed on that flip, because he was still turning left, so his bike got all loaded up weird in the suspension. He'd be doomed now if he tried a flip. I hope for everyone's sake, in the local air ambulance, that Jono does not try flips this year. If you put something like that in my compound, I don't know what we do with it.
It's huge, man.
It's so big. It's so big. Can you see how many riders have stood down there? So last time, we went through that water tub, through where those trials bikes are.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
Into a tech section. They've cut the whole technical section out. Oh, look where the takeoff is. We should have filmed the whole thing from here. So now, you land downhill, apparently on the brakes, into another drop, and that's actually the gnarlier bit. So you get these, I keep saying how the cannon's mental, this is mental, they're all kind of build-ups. Clearly all the riders are fussed about this, so we'll go film it now. But I'm stood here kind of worrying for Jono because he hated it last time. And it's so much more gnarly now. Let's go look at this. Oh my God, I've not seen this yet, that's dirty. It never ends, it's just relentless, isn't it? It's downhill, into more speed, into more jumps. Honestly, the braking distance between that jump and this jump's like not much more than the time in the air. It'll feel like a really big drawn out lily pad. That will take no prisoners at all with it. It stresses me out looking at that. Coming off of that jump, the speed's not going to be consistent, is it? It's not like you get to roll in and have a fair run at it every time. You're in a race. That's going to look even worse from down there. Should we go down?
Yeah.
That is just horrendous.
Yeah. And I'll go down there.
Oh my God.
That behind him.
Yeah.
If you're in Wales this weekend, having a glorious time in the sunshine, just be certain that 28 of the world's best mountain bike riders are having the worst time of their lives. So this is brand new. I think only Bernard Kerr's tested it this year. He had to step up as guinea pig. It would usually be Giatherton, who's a psychopath. And then it's the bomb down to Dirty Ferns. Can you see it down there, the big right hip? Where I think we're expecting a big session tonight, which will be in the next video tomorrow. From here on out, it's dusty, fast berms, flat out. Remember, I keep stressing this, but it is a race. When I go to events like that have difficult courses, it's about completing the course. This is about doing it fast, and I can't get my head around that, how you can hit a drop that's so specific and precise with like a 90-degree case pad. You practice it, you get better at it, and then you have to race it. It must change everything. Can you tell I'm like a bit curious as to how this course is possible
And a
this
bit
year.
glad that you're not
And
participating.
thrilled that Marin are yet to manufacture a downhill bike, which would pressure me massively into being on the start list. But maybe next year. I am keen. I would definitely ride it, but everyone tells me every year, Matt, if you're going to bring an enduro bike, you mustn't ride. It will be a disaster, and I've got to listen to that. So Dirty Ferns next.
You go steady, mate.
Oh, it's unrideable. I just want to reassure all the safety conscious riders, parents, fans out there that after conquering the most savage set of jumps ever to be combined, there is a crash mat behind this berm. Something to aim for. Weird.
Whoa.
Like, not even talked about this feature and it's still massive, isn't it? How big? 40 foot?
Yeah, probably.
Good view of that hip. There's more dirt in that than like the woven whole set of trails, isn't there? It's just made of rock. It's a bit more like us, isn't it, Ben? You'd be able to do a tail. That's a quarter pipe to you. That's all you see a skate park. I see an enormous right hip called Dirty Ferns, which I'm pretty certain the takeoff's less steep because last year we aired the takeoff as a quarter pipe, and now it looks like you can go way wider on the landing, which is good. Look how big the landing is. It's like looks more like the remains of a landslide than a landing that's been purpose built. You'd think this would be like a graceful, nice jump to jump, but the landing's so flat that I remember last time some of the biggest, heaviest impacts were on this, and people were snapping crank arms, frames on a hip, which looks like it's the only treat on the whole course. But even this is a stitch up. And then you're just plummeting into the dark again, which I like because it gets a bit weird again, a bit more technical. You're doing well if you got to this point. We haven't even broken the back of it, but you are doing well. With those new changes up there, the top half's frightening. Another blind, stupid jump that jumps over a dry stone wall with a cliff on the edge. Nice.
Solid.
Lovely. Safe. Another blind, stupid jump over a wall on a cliff. No shortage of lung puncturing rocks here, are there? When your arms are about dead and ready to give up, and you're just getting ready for the biggest road gap in Great Britain, or probably ever in a race. A lot of fun to be had here.
You're good at that, mate.
Thanks, skilled, highly skilled. The actual road gap. The word road gap gets thrown around a lot, doesn't it?
Yep.
This one's actually over, could be 2 lanes, that's a passing spot. It's massive, they made it a metre bigger too. Which makes no sense, it was big enough. Some things just don't need changing, do they? You know the expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yep.
This was already almost breaking everyone. So it didn't need fixing, and now it's going to do the broken. Tried to make that work. See, actually there's no other choice. You couldn't ride any of this. It's so rocky. So they built this outrageous ladder. I wonder if it got built and they did it wrong and they thought, oh, someone will ride it, or if it was actually ever planned on being this gargantuan, substantial and evil actually. This is where I'd come unstuck on an enduro bike, definitely. Even if every feature on this course is rideable, it's this that isn't. Because most guys on downhill bikes, their feet hit the floor. They bottom out their whole bike that much, then the whole bike flexes even more and their pedals hit the ground on that landing. And then like a right berm afterwards doesn't please anyone. You should have at least a mile to stop. I think it's insane behaviour, don't you?
Yep.
So yeah, an actual road gap, guys, here in Wales. It really is an obscene drop. It's so big. This is a bit of tarmac short of being the A5 through Buckinghamshire, isn't it? I do love it though, it looks gnarly. Nervous for Jono. So then you go into the woods, it's a bit of technical, some horrible blind drops, some off-camber sections. You'll see all that in the next couple of uploads when riders are doing full runs and I'm going to be trackside kind of talking to everyone. And then the finish straight is pretty rad. It's a huge, big boner log and then a massive long jump to the finish corral. So that bit's exciting because you've done all of this, but it's not easy, it's not tame. The whole course is gnarly, Hardline's gnarly. This is the hardest it's ever been. I can't wait for tomorrow when we start watching some riders session and you guys can watch it too. So back tomorrow with another upload. Legends.